Hey everyone, it's Ian from UKHousework.info with a bit of a rant really. Not a rant, but just an explanation. Over the last couple of years, particularly last year, I've done quite a few videos on entering the UK for creatives and creative support workers and what you can and cannot do, and to be aware of the risks of certain routes. Recently, quite a few times I've had people say, yeah, but I can come in on an invitation letter, and the rules state that if I'm an expert in my chosen profession and my main job is musician or whatever else, I can come in as a standard visitor standard visitor if not needing a visa, and just go in and say I'm here to work and everything's fine. Yes, it does say that in the rules, in the guidance for a standard visitor. If you don't need a visa to come into the UK, you're a standard visitor. And you can come in for up to 6 months, and within the first 30 days, do certain permitted activities. Totally true. That is what it says in the guidance. Now the reality. Whether or not it is Border Force officers who are not aware of the regulations, or sometimes the training's not as good as it could be, those officers will stand there and tell you you cannot enter unless you have a certificate of sponsorship. It has happened on countless occasions, and it is not because the people are amateur. Some people have said that to me. Oh, it's because they're amateur. They've got other jobs. The deal is the officer has to believe you. And there is nothing in the guidance which specifically says what constitutes an expert, because the permitted paid engagement concession isn't specific to creative arts. It's actually general, which means that you are at the behest of that officer and how they define whether or not you are an expert in your chosen profession. Obviously, if it's your main job, that's hopefully relatively easy to prove. Showing the officer lots of websites or reviews or whatever, and a letter of invitation from the people that want you to play. I'm using the play as a musician, or maybe you're an actor, whatever. That is entirely up to that officer. We have had, over the last year, more than once, officers who have actually said to one band, you are not on the same level as the Rolling Stones or the Beatles. Ironic, given that both of those bands are British, but nonetheless, they said that to the musicians in question and refused them entry. Whether that's right or not, I'm not going to make any statements here. But that's the reality, folks. So please don't think just because it says something on the guidance, and I'm going to set some links below in the description for exactly this. And you can see what it says there. So there you go. Please remember, excuse me, please remember that what it says in the guidance, what it says on the websites, sometimes isn't enough. It should be. And you can ask to speak to a senior officer, etc., and plead your case. But it has been known that people have been refused at the border, even though they fulfill all the criteria and they've got good invitation letters. It has still happened that is not enough. So that said, be warned, safe travels, safe journey. And I have to say one last thing, sorry. Many people have been able to use this entry method. But given you are supposed to go to and see a Border Force officer, not go through the e-gates, you're not supposed to do that, and identify yourself, then be prepared to prove everything that I've just said, and be prepared as well to have a backup plan if the officers refuse to let you through. See you soon.